Welcome back to the Applied Physics lecture series, Unit 3 Optoelectronics, Lecture 2. Non-radiative transitions, agar recombination, surface recombination and recombination at defects. In the previous lecture also, we discussed about radiative transitions. Now this lecture mainly focused on non-radiative transitions. So whether it may be a radiative transition or non-radiative transition, they will take place during the process of recombination. You know what is meant by recombination? An electron which is present in the conduction band returns back to the valency band or jumps back to the valency band and combine with a hole. As a result, neutralization takes place. But the electron which is present in the conduction band, which is having more energy than hole which is present in the valency band. So as a result of such a recombine, excess amount of energy possessed by the electron will be released in the form of light, known as radiative transition. We discussed in the previous lecture. Such an excess amount of energy possessed by the electron will be released in the form of heat. Then it will be called as non-radiative transitions. In this lecture, we will discuss how the non-radiative transition takes place exactly and what are the different types of non-radiative transitions we will discuss. So non-radiative recombination occurs when an electron in the conduction band recombines with a hole in the valency band, and the excess amount of energy will be coming out in the form of heat. Such a type of transition takes place during the recombination will be called as non-radiative recombination. Non-radiative recombination process involves so many types. So examples: agar recombination, surface recombination, recombination at defects. And if you consider one most important non-radiative transition is nothing but agar combination. Now let us see how it will be takes place. Usually agar recombination will be divided into two categories. That means it will be takes place in two different ways. So the first way of observing this agar recombination is one electron from the conduction band recombines with a hole in the valency band and releases energy. And this energy may be taken by another electron in conduction band. That means the excess amount of energy will be coming out during the first recombination will be taken by another electron which is present in the same conduction band. Such an electron which gains energy jumps into the higher energy state and then comes back to the valency band by giving out its energy. That means the electron which is gaining energy during the first recombination in the conduction band, such an excess amount of energy possessed by the electron will be jumped into the further high energy state which is present in the same conduction band. But the electron is relatively unstable when it is reached to the higher energy levels. That's why finally the electron comes back to the valency band and giving its all the energy in the form of heat. In this way, agar recombination will be takes place in the first category. And the second type or second category of agar recombination is one electron from the conduction band recombines with a hole in the valency band and releases energy. This is a usual process. Electron which is present in the conduction band which is having more energy and it recombines with a hole in the valency band, and excess amount of energy will be possessed by the electron will be released in the form of heat. This energy, this X amount of energy which is coming out in the form of heat may knock out another electron and create a hole. That means the stable covalent bond will be disturbed. As a result, the electron which is present in that bond will be migrated to the higher energy level. In place of such a electron absence, a new hole will be created. In this way, second type of agar recombination will take place. But whether it may be a first process or second process, that means either first category or second category, both are the examples for non-radiative recombination. And if you consider another category of surface non-radiative recombination is surface recombination. Usually it will be takes place at the surface of any material, particularly in case of semiconductor devices, because during the process of crystal growth, if you stopped the crystal growth process abruptly, usually this type of recombination takes place. Now let us see how it will be takes place exactly. Recombination at surfaces and interfaces can have a significant impact on the behavior of semiconductor devices, because abruptly the process of crystal growth will be stopped. That's why it will show very huge effect on the properties of the semiconductor devices. That's why you can able to say there is a great impact of this recombination on the properties and the behavior of semiconductor devices. This is because of the surfaces and interfaces typically contain large number of recombination centers because of the abrupt termination of the semiconductor crystal during the process of crystal growth leads to large number of electrically active centers. Due to the presence of this large number of electrically active centers or states, the process of surface recombination, which takes place almost at the surface, will takes place. In addition, the surfaces and interfaces are more likely to contain impurities since they are exposed during the device fabrication process. So if you stop the process of crystal growth abruptly, as a result, what happens? More number of impurities or defects are present. Usually those are very active. As a result, surface recombination takes place actively. So this is the second important example for non-radiative transition. Thanks for listening.